What's up, everyone? We are here inside of Green Goliath Toys and Games on 219 County Route 57 in Phoenix, New York, inside of the Three Rivers Plaza. I am Dan Tortora of Superpowered Pop.
I am Rob Stacy of Green Goliath.
And we are here to wish you a very happy May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
And also with you. So, very happy to be here on May the 4th, Star Wars Day, and I am fresh off of being in Galaxy's Edge on Batuu.
Very exciting.
I got to have a little prequel to Star Wars Day, and I brought back some cool stuff. I have some other stuff I'll be showing and whatnot. Happy 4th to Michael here. I appreciate it. The pass holder exclusive, I like stuff like this that shows it on the back, and it obviously shows pass holder in the other language as well. So only pass holders can get these, and so I had to pick one up. I have another one that says Resist for Rise of the Resistance.
Fair enough.
And it's got my Resistance logo on it and all that. So I'm excited that I got to be within the world of Star Wars right before May the 4th be with you.
I just watched the movies.
You did. I went to Batuu, you watched the movies.
That's right.
We both tackled it in a different way.
Fair enough. It all works.
Did you watch every single one?
I tried to. I got through most of them. I skipped the ones that I'm not super fond of.
Okay. Which ones are
like
those?
Solo and Rogue One, but I did watch the roll through 1 through 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, the 1 through 9s without
the 1 through 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Figure that one out. It took me I had to read the directions.
How do I do it?
Yeah, it's
this
little knob.
This little tiny knob.
Little tiny knob.
There's like 5 buttons on here, and the little knob
is
very
deceiving.
Yeah. So we have Luke's lightsaber right now.
It's pretty dope, right?
It is. It's very cool.
Yeah, those are so awesome.
I like it. So yeah, a lot of good stuff. It's May the 4th, and to run everybody through this, for those of you that don't know, or you need to know the chronological order, all of our Star Wars fans, I'm sure you know this, but just in case, you know that 4, 5, and 6 came out originally, and they were known as 1, 2, and 3 when there wasn't 4, 5, and 6. And now the official chronological order, if you are to start watching Star Wars now, or if you're just going to watch it again, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Solo, a Star Wars story, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, Episode 4, A New Hope, Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and the most recent installment where Palpatine returns in Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
You did it.
11 movies, not including everything else, and there's the Bad Batch just came out on Disney Plus, that Star Wars show.
Plus the cartoons.
The Clone Wars that you've been watching.
The Clone Wars was pretty good.
And the comics.
Yeah, and the comics.
And within the comics and the cartoons, we saw the return of my favorite villain, which is Darth Maul.
The books are, there's hundreds of books.
There's so much going on.
So much going on with Star Wars.
And a lot of people focus on all this stuff. What do we have here? I have all movies on DVD and have watched them all. Yeah, I actually have... I have the DVDs now, I think, of all of them as well, pretty much.
Yeah, I just... Disney Plus.
Yeah, now you can.
Yeah, much easier nowadays.
So, I think it's great to be able to just cycle through them now. I could do it on my phone with Disney Plus, so if I'm in the airport, I could just turn them on, watch them, and go.
Yeah.
It's how I had to watch a portion of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I stopped it because I wanted to actually watch it on screen.
It was awesome.
So, a lot of good stuff. We'll talk about it in a future show coming up very soon. But what is on your mind with Star Wars? On May the 4th be with you.
So what we're going to do is me and Dan are going to go through our lists and rank the movies 1 through 11, how we like them, top to bottom or bottom to top.
We'll do bottom to top.
All right, let's go bottom to top.
We'll do 11 to 1, a 1 being our favorite.
All right. Well, let's start at number 11. You go first.
Okay.
If you had to pick.
My number 11, I would have to say, is a movie that originally put me to sleep. I genuinely slept through it in the theaters. I woke up to seeing Darth Vader, and then I went, oh my gosh, finally we get to see him. And, like, the bridge comes down, he's there, he's...
Are you kidding me?
And then I fell asleep again.
Are you telling me Revenge of the Sith is...
No. I'm telling you that the one I fell asleep in
was
Rogue One.
Oh, yeah, Rogue One.
And I know that was, like, critically acclaimed. People hated Solo, but they loved Rogue One. I watched Rogue One again. I watched it on my laptop in the airport, and I can tell you the second time around, I appreciated it more. I wanted to give it another chance, and I didn't fall asleep in the airport.
Yeah, well, I, too, my number 11 is going to be Rogue One also. Because I felt like it was just like a redo of Return of the Jedi, basically, with new people and old people.
It made me go night-night.
Yeah,
so
I agree. So Rogue One, I was not a fan the first time, and I probably won't watch it again the second time.
My number 10 would be probably... It's between two of them. But I'm going to say my number 10 is going to be Attack of the Clones, Episode 2. I remember Jar Jar Binks fighting in a dome.
That's fair.
And that's all I remember.
That's fair.
Like, it wasn't a memorable movie. And I feel like the second one in the trilogy sometimes gets lost. And Attack of the Clones didn't really do much of anything for me. I remember that fight. I remember thinking Jar Jar is going to die. And outside of that, it kind of just didn't... It wasn't memorable.
See, my number 10 is a little different. My number 10 is Solo.
Okay.
It just didn't really do a lot for me. I mean, it was entertaining as far as the movie goes.
Yeah.
But as far as being a Star Wars fan and filling in some of the backstory and, the stuff the meat, I didn't feel it really did much for you.
I considered putting it at number 10... But I am a huge fan of Darth Maul. He's my favorite villain.
I like Darth Maul.
So his return in that, because it's obviously set before certain things are happening and whatnot, that to be able to see Darth Maul again was very meaningful.
Fair enough.
So Attack of the Clones goes number 10 because of that. My number 9, I would have to give to...
Oh, no.
This is another one between the two. My number 9 is going to go to Revenge of the Sith. Episode 3 is going to be my number 9.
What?
It's going to move Solo a little bit closer,
Oh my!
a little bit higher up.
Revenge of the...
But Revenge of the Sith, now, I love this. I love this story. Obviously, we know at the beginning of all this that Hayden Christensen is Anakin Skywalker. We see him in The Phantom Menace as a little kid. With the pod racers, he grows up to eventually become Darth Vader. It's when you know something's going to happen, it's like you see the train coming off the rails, but you're still watching it do it. It's a movie that you watch hoping that it's going to turn the corner. Almost like you watch the Titanic hoping that they're going to somehow miss the iceberg, and they don't.
But you know what's going to happen.
Right. So, it's setting us up to know what's going to happen, but we still have to kind of bleed through it and pain through the fact that Anakin eventually goes full dark, and Revenge of the Sith, it's hard for me to put it here, but it's going to be number 9.
For me, I think it's going to be The Force Awakens.
Okay.
I mean, I did like it. It had some really good, awesome, storyline fill-ins.
Yeah.
Of future where it's going, but I mean, you gotta rank them, I guess. So for that, I think that would Force Awakens is number 9 for me, for sure.
My number 8 is going to go to Episode 8, The Last Jedi, because again, the middle of the trilogy, in this case, once again, like Attack of the Clones, before we turn the video on, I had to remind myself what happened in The Last Jedi, because I felt like it was a 2-hour telling of a story that could have been just wiped away and told in 5 minutes from Episode 7 to 9.
I don't disagree. I mean, there was a lot of filler there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of,
Fluff.
Yeah, for the better.
It was making the movie for the sake of making a movie where I don't know what the purpose. If the movie
there was a
wasn't
lot
there,
of hype for that movie, though. People were really excited about that movie, and it would.
But if the movie didn't exist, would we have lost much? That's the question, and that's why it's on the
they
bottom.
could have split it into into the other movies and probably done just as well.
Yeah,
so that's fair.
It goes to number 8. For episode 8 is number 8. We're doing our top 11 from episodes 1 through 9, as well as Solo and Rogue One. And I gave you my episode 8 at number 8 for me. What is your number 8?
I think I'm going to go with you. I'm going to put that at the same spot. Just for all the same reasons. The Last Jedi was the middle movie. It had some good highlights. Told some of the backstory, but again, it could have been put into the other two movies in that trilogy.
I actually would like to make a change.
Oh no!
Because I was looking at something and I realized that I was not thinking it through. The Last Jedi, I'm keeping it number 8, but of our top 11, and number 1 being our favorite, we're going 11 to 1. So least favorite to most favorite. My episode 9's got to be my number 9. The Rise of Skywalker, because you brought back Palpatine to do nothing with him. He looked like he was stuck on the claw game where you're trying to get a stuffed animal.
Well, but it did kind of...
All the deaths, and the 5 billion Death Star ships are all defeated so easily.
I thought that was pretty cool, to be honest.
It's cool, but it seemed way too easy.
Yeah,
it was very Disney of Disney to do.
Well, that's how they do now. They just get one big gun and look at Thanos. You know what I mean? That could have been done much better too, but one big gun.
So my 11. Okay, so now I have to refresh everyone. My 11 is Rogue One. My 10 is Attack of the Clones Episode 2. My number 9. Because now I understand myself. My number 9 is Episode 8, The Last Jedi. My number 8 is Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, because I like that more than The Last Jedi. Yourself. So my number 7 is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now I'm okay. Now I figured it out. It's a math problem. Trending on Twitter today was carry the one, and I didn't do it. So
I feel like...
whatever that meant on Twitter. I'm talking about math.
I feel like Revenge of the Sith, to me... belongs a little bit higher. For me, my number 7 is going to be the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as...
So we're adding in the whole TV show with the other 11.
No, not... Well, the Clone... Yeah. We're going to put it all together.
Yeah, because we got Episode 1 through 9, we got Rogue One, we got Solo, and we got Clone Wars.
Well, what was the movie with the clones?
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones.
Okay,
That's
okay,
what I meant.
okay,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Attack of the Clones.
It's all right. We're going to do this all in post. We're going to edit this all. None of this is live. Are we live? We're live. So
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones is going to be... That's
my number 7.
Okay.
Because, that was a bit of fluff, I felt myself.
Yeah. It was the middle movie, which got lost.
It was the middle movie. It was okay.
Yeah.
Jar Jar Binks was okay. I don't hate on Jar Binks
he's all right,
like many people, but it was okay.
My number 6.
All right,
is going to be Solo. 6. Number 6 is going to be Solo.
I can't believe you got Solo so high.
The reason why I had it so high, now I didn't want to like a movie. Well, I didn't think I would like a movie without Harrison Ford as Solo. The younger Solo and a different actor and whatnot. But again, I liked the story. I liked Darth Maul. I liked the adventure of it. I think it did things better than what Rogue One tried to do. It kept me interested. It kept me awake. It kept me there. And you bring back Darth Maul. It's a personal preference, and so it's going to be number 6 for me.
I get it. For me, I think number 6 is going to be Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Phantom Menace. It was a solid movie. It did a lot of stuff to push forward the Star Wars story. It showed you, Anakin as a kid and where he came from. Just like, the future movies show the background of, Luke Skywalker. They also do, it does do a lot of that. And that also introduces C3PO, and it tells you where he came from.
Yeah, I mean, A Phantom Menace is, to me, as a kid, watching this trilogy and being young, I loved the pod racers. I loved everything about them. I love when Disney put them in and kind of like let you see them and reimagine them and made these different pieces come to life essentially by being able to walk through Hollywood studios and see renditions of them. So I'm not too far off from you. My number 5 is The Phantom Menace Episode 1.
Fair enough.
Because I love something about the pod racers. I loved the video game. I loved that there was like a different feel to it. There was a lot of great things about it, and Anakin and his story, and meeting him for the first time, and him being, taken care of, and where was he going to go, and how was this all going to move, and seeing characters we know, seeing characters we didn't know, or we didn't know in that way. I think The Phantom Menace was a hopeful start to a trilogy.
Yeah, and I really think in that movie, the fact that you find out that Anakin Skywalker built C3PO as a child is pretty significant, because they're pretty much the only they're the only characters that are in all the movies.
I mean, having C3PO and R2D2, they've become these beloved characters that are always, like whenever something's going on, whenever they're trying to get away from stormtroopers, they always seem to be an integral part of the story.
And not only that, but he's also Luke's like semi-sidekick / protege throughout the whole,
and R2's his guy,
through those movies. So it's weird that his father built a robot that he will eventually, be with throughout the movies. Little irony there.
Well, that's the thing, and the beauty of these movies is you never know who you're helping, and as they tell you in real life, you never know who you're talking to, you never know who you're interacting with, and you should always lead with your best foot forward and be good to everybody, because you could build a droid that could work against you eventually.
Which exactly is what happened.
So your number 5 is which one?
Number 5 is Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
I liked Rise of Skywalker. I thought it was some of the scenes in there were pretty well done.
Yeah.
Is that the one where that's the one where Luke dies, correct? And he projects himself into the desert as they're breaking into the, they're in
this the Last Jedi.
No,
this one right before it.
I don't think so. I think the Rise of Skywalker is the one that Luke dies. Remember, because
no, he did in the Last Jedi, because then Rise of Skywalker starts with the ship getting blown up and Leia using the Force to go back into the ship.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I have them confused, and I just watched them.
They run together sometimes.
They do. Well, that's what
especially
happens.
when you watch them all in succession.
That's what happens when you binge them at the
That's what happens when Rob messages you at midnight telling you that he's doing his Star Wars homework. So, and he did this days in advance, but I'm getting ready to lay in bed, just had a day at Disney, and I get a text message going, watching all the movies back. And I was just like, good for you, man. I was like, I didn't have a hookup to put it on the TV, but I could have watched it on my phone. My number 4.
All right. Top 4.
Top 4 for me. He makes it to this movie makes it to the top 4 because, contrary to many people's ways of getting into the Force and getting into Star Wars, the beautiful, wonderful way that I truly became a Star Wars fan was in Episode 7, The Force Awakens, when BB-8 stole my heart as the rolling soccer ball that he is.
Fair enough.
So, The Force Awakens, having it start and hearing the music, and you just see like the sand, and he just rolls in, and you just see him, and I saw it in 3D, and his head just kind of pops in, and he looks right at you, and you hear that and he turns, and then Rey's doing her thing. It was such a cool way to start it all. And then when he gets the when Oscar Isaac's character, Poe Dameron, when he gives BB like the thumbs up, and then BB takes the lighter out and thumbs up. At that point, everybody in the theater went, and I was like, shut up, that's my character. Like, that's my guy. You can't have him, I'll take him. But I love BB. I buy anything that has BB on it. My proof is in the pudding, so he's right there.
Rolling with the socks.
But I have a hat that says roll with it. And, so I got to go number 4. Rising up here is The Force Awakens, because it awakened my true, deeper passion for Star Wars, which was hidden under tectonic plates underneath the water of the earth.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna switch it all up.
Okay.
This might shock people, but New Hope, the very first Star Wars, for me is number 4.
Number 4. So episode 4 is 4.
Episode 4 is 4.
Why?
Why? Because I've probably seen it 500 times. But anyways, I mean, obviously it's the first ever Star Wars movie. I mean, so it's legit. But I mean, it does tell a lot of backstory. It gets you going. And but I always felt like that movie ended too soon. I felt like it needed a little bit more at the end.
Okay.
It did leave you wanting more, for sure. But I just felt like when I watched that movie, I just feel like it ended in like a weird spot. Like it could have been another 10 or 15 minutes to lead you into the next movie. I don't know. That's how I always felt. Even when I was a kid, when I watched it for the very first time, that's how I felt.
So I know it's fair enough.
So
I mean,
that's my number 4.
It seems like the top 2 to people are the number one's either A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
typically.
So
I am going to go in my top 3.
Okay.
We are now to the top 3.
Top 3.
Top 3 for me. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, makes my number 3. So that is where I sit at.
Man, I feel like are you copying my brain? That's where I was at too.
For Return of the Jedi, okay.
Yeah.
So your number 3 is Episode 6.
So we are both at. That's exactly where I'm at.
Okay.
Return of the Jedi is number 3 for me also. I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, what do you mean? Luke, I'm your father." Like, it's epic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And the Ewoks and the. I mean, it was a great change up from the 1, 2, 3 originals. I mean, you go from sand to snow to jungle. I get it. I mean, and it was very good.
Yeah.
And it had the cliff ender, but I just it's still number 3 to me.
I mean, I agree. Return of the Jedi. I know it ended the original trilogy, but to me, I had to put it at number 3 because my 1 and 2 were spoken for. And my number 2...
Gotcha.
I am going to go with...
Dun, dun, dun!
Because, how are you going to kill my man Yoda? My number 2, Episode 5, is Empire Strikes Back.
That's fair.
I know that there's a collective, there's a group of people right now that are really excited to know that my number 1 is theirs. But then there's people like, that moment of like, come on, Dan, Empire Strikes Back. There's a contingent that is just feeling the pain right now, like watching the NFL draft and being so close to your pick. Empire Strikes Back is my number 2. You can forgive me, I think, because of my number 1. But you killed my man Yoda, and that pains me. So I respect the original trilogy, hence why the top 3 are in my top 3, or the first 3 are in my top 3, but I gotta go with Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. It gets almost number 1, but not quite.
Well, my number 2 is shocking, apparently, because my number 2 is Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, all right.
Out of all these movies, because I feel like Revenge of the Sith...
Because Samuel L. Jackson goes out the window?
Yes! He's like, get out of here, but you're not dead. You'll be back.
Yeah.
No. I
Apparently
just felt
he's
like
Finn's dad. Some people think that.
Oh my god! I'm sure he is. That's gonna be his bring back.
The purple saber.
Yeah, I'm still hanging from the building.
We saw him go out the window. We never saw him die.
But anyways, I felt like that movie filled in so much of the backstory of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
You saw like the reasons why he was doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
The manipulation of Palpatine and the true transformation from, being torn between being the good guy and then just ripping and just being turned into the all-time baddie Darth Vader.
My thing with that movie is, how did nobody know, just based on the way that he always was heavily cloaked, that Palpatine was bad?
Well, come on. Yeah, I don't know.
He always talked
I know.
It was a creepy voice. You could never see his face. He always had, the hood was over. It was always dark. And whenever he spoke to anybody, it was always menacing. It was always like, pass the chips, please.
I know.
He's creepy.
And, this is the dude?
Yeah.
He's he looks like Joe Biden. Like how is he the dude?
And then he had that lightning coming out of him. He got all wrinkly. He actually looked like one of the raisins.
He's killing me.
He looked like a raisin in that moment.
His forehead gets worse and more lines.
The yellow eyes and the more lines and the
He's
just wrinkle.
Oh, save me.
Palpatine, man.
Yeah, but I felt like that movie filled so much of the backstory, and for me personally, on the Darth Vader side, that and it was so informative that it's one of my favorite ones.
I respect it.
And
it tells the
he gets his legs chopped off, bro. And he lights them on fire.
And he gets left.
He's
in the volcanic.
It's like, you could have been my brother.
Yeah.
But I chopped your legs off.
Yeah, why did you do this to us? Why did you do this?
Why did you have to do this to me, bro?
Yeah. Don't make me do this.
So I'm leaving you, no legs, on fire. That's straight gangster shit.
And Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to have his own show coming up on Disney Plus.
Obi was just I am not having this.
Yeah.
You can stay here, no legs, and burn.
And they're bringing back Ewan McGregor, so.
Yeah. But that was some cold Star Wars shit.
Some cold-blooded. And then seeing his body being put back together.
Yeah. And then he was like...
It was an awesome story
I liked it. That was one of my favorites.
So I can respect that.
So that's why that's my number 2.
Which brings us to our number 1. And so, what I would like to do, before I give you my number 1, is to refresh you. Number 11 from my list of Star Wars movies of all time. Number 11, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Number 10, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Number 9, Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Number 8, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Number 7, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Is everybody taking notes?
Number 6, write it down, Solo, A Star Wars Story. Number 5, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Number 4, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, because that's what awakened my connection to the Force and into these beautiful movies. Number 3, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Number 2, Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Which means Episode 1, I went nostalgic. I went back to the fact that this is where it all began. None of these movies exist without this first singular movie. It was a belief by George Lucas and his team that it could be done. You could take people on this road. You can bring them into this. You can slant everything that you have to read, and you have to force people to read the screen and then miss stuff when it's going up. It's like reading one of those charts when you have to get your eyes checked.
Yeah.
The music was the same. The wipe that they still have, that really just clean, basic wipe from one scene to another. The stars, everything about it aligned. And a word that I believe in because it makes the impossible possible. Episode 4, my number 1 movie in the Star Wars family of all time, A New Hope.
I get it. I definitely do. And shout out to George Lucas, because that was. And you think about, if you ever watched the making of Star Wars and how they did it, everything was hand done, hand models. the cameras that they use nowadays, you could shoot a better movie on your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so
Attention to detail.
not just that, but it was so far ahead of its time.
Yeah.
That
Imagine if the originals were made with this technology.
Well, and that's why he went back in '97 and touched them up because he didn't get the chance to have those type of graphics and back then. Well, all right. So my number one, obviously, if you were paying attention, is Empire Strikes Back. I just liked Empire Strikes Back because of Wampa. I was always a huge Wampa fan.
Okay.
I don't know. I liked Wampa, the giant, abominable snowman trying to eat Luke Skywalker.
I like that his head is up on something in Batuu. You can actually see
it.
So.
So that, and that's where Luke, learns the Force.
Yeah.
You have Yoda in the swamp. Yoda does actually die in Empire Strikes Back. People don't really realize that because he's in all the previous movies pretty much.
Yeah.
So you think he's still alive, but he's been dead since Empire Strikes Back. And you do see his ghost in all the rest of the movies also, where he's not actually in them.
Yeah.
So you feel like he's always there. But so there a lot of things happened in The Empire Strikes Back, and they also gave you amazing toys out of that movie. The AT-AT walkers, the back to Wampa, the Tauntauns. I mean, there were so many cool, amazing, big toys, small toys. I mean, that was...
You got a bunch of them here.
Yeah, so growing up in that era, those toys were the bomb. You know what I mean? So those would kind of, that era of toys is basically what put me into what I do now.
Yeah.
Is obviously owning a toy store. So
and speaking of that, I want to take
classics.
this. I'm taking this and I'm going to show everybody. Okay. So we're going to start here, but we have Mandalorian all over the place. We have plenty of Yoda. We have the child sleeping, force wielding, whatever you want to call it, eyes closed, hanging out. We got Luke right here with the green saber. We have so many different troopers. The stormtrooper, look at that, he looks like cookies and cream. We have Han Solo. We have the Sith jet trooper, Boba Fett.
We have tons.
A lot of Darth Lords here. Look at Bo-Katan, which is beautiful. That one's awesome. New here. We have Wrecker.
Yeah, those are new.
We have the stormtroopers, Han Solo. We have the Porg.
Yeah.
A lot of different things here. Princess Leia. And then you can see the figures that are also here. There's so many awesome things for you to jump on here.
Black figures, Black Series, OG Originals.
Supreme Leader, First Order.
All the way up through. So
A Snow Trooper.
We do it right by Star Wars in this shop, for sure.
Yeah, General Veers. So everything right here with you. And that is barely a snippet of what is here at Green Goliath Toys and Games on 219 County Route 57 in Phoenix, New York, inside of the Three Rivers Plaza. Come out here and see Mr. Rob Stacy and see us multiple times every single month. You will see us here on Facebook. You also see us on YouTube and Instagram. So YouTube, if you look up Super Powered Pop, on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, Facebook.com/SuperPoweredPop, and you can also check out Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SuperPoweredPop, as well as the Instagram for Green Goliath.
Green Goliath, Instagram, Facebook, Instagram. We have a Facebook group now on a group, not just our regular follow.
Yeah.
We created a group where we're going to start doing some more auctions and more live stuff on there. And also we're on YouTube now too. So check us out on all those.
So Green Goliath as well as Super Powered Pop come together for Super Powered Goliath on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and more. Constantly growing with you as this store grows and everything you have that you can get here for Star Wars and beyond grows, as the Star Wars universe grows, and as Super Powered Pop and Green Goliath work to grow with you. That's why we're called Super Powered Goliath, because a Goliath is always growing. So we look forward to talking with you soon. Happy Happy May 4th. And may we all know that the Force is with us at all times. So, Rob, may the Force be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
I'll talk with you soon.
Later.